Welcome to Keynotes to Collectibles with Curtis Zimmerman. In this series, I'll be sharing Ray's sports collection and my temporary shift from being a keynote speaker to the world of sports cards and collectibles. Well, this is Noah, my oldest son, and Noah's been such a huge help to make this journey actually possible. Without his help, I know for a fact there's no way we could have done it. So thank you, Noah, for all your help. And I'd love for you to share just kind of what you've been doing and kind of prior to even the purchase of Ray's sports collection, all that, but just your life and kind of tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Sure, yeah. So COVID obviously happened. It hit everybody pretty hard. It hit me halfway through the spring semester of my sophomore year. And I ended up coming home halfway through the semester. And I came home and I had to do the second half of the semester online, which was a new experience, obviously. And then the summer came and went, and then I had a whole nother semester of online schooling. And by the end of that semester, it was pretty much enough for me. The online experience has its upsides, but it has a lot of downsides. And by the end of it, I was ready to take a break. COVID was the best excuse to. So I ended up taking actually a gap semester for this current period of time right now. And that decision has obviously impacted my life, but also the decision to buy the warehouse, I think, to some extent, because it ended up being that with all this extra time that I have now, I can go and work in the warehouse and do things like kind of manage the inventory and keep track of all the different stuff we have, all the like cases of cards, all the random sports memorabilia that's sitting around. And it's been really interesting to get involved in that, because I know it's such a big part of your life now, and just getting to spend time helping out on that has been pretty great.
It's been really great. It's been great for me too, because, you know, we're all busy. And when I'm speaking, obviously I'm traveling a lot, I'm on the road a lot. And so there's lots of things I've missed. I always try to be home for birthdays and holidays and stuff, but I miss certain things. And just having the time to spend with you, even just driving to the warehouse and back every day and hanging at the warehouse and trying to figure out problem solving. Because, as you know, this isn't me. This isn't what I do either.
Yeah, for sure.
So Noah and I have had a lot of conversations about, okay, so here's a warehouse, and we don't know anything that's in it.
Yeah.
And we don't really know anything about what's in it.
Yeah.
And so how are we going to go through and categorize it? And Noah's, spreadsheet guy.
Yeah, that's me for sure.
Yeah, like he gets jacked up on that kind of stuff. And so the system that you came up with, let's just run through that real quickly. So there's a warehouse and all the aisles. Mm-hmm. Tell them what you finally came up with and what we're doing now.
Yeah, that's a big question. There's a lot of different stuff. But the basic idea is, in the spreadsheet, we have like a bunch of different information about any given bit of, memorabilia that's in the warehouse. So I get to go through and look at all the different stuff and then log it on the spreadsheet. So hopefully we'll have a big database pretty much of all the stuff that's out there. Especially the card cases, because I know that you really wanted to get a clear idea of that first and foremost.
And then when we're there and I'm walking around and I don't know where anything is, you also came up with a plan of how I can find stuff.
Organizing the warehouse, like splitting it up into different sections. That's right. So like numbering all the aisles and like classifying the back wall as like a certain area, and like the across aisles, since there's like a center lane. So it's like one side and the other side and all this sort of different stuff. Yeah.
And then the last thing is, okay, so we sell a certain amount of things. Trader's World's only open on the weekends. And we sell a certain amount of products and an X amount of boxes of baseball, basketball, hockey cards. And then I come with a list, and then I'm able now to give it to Noah.
Yeah, and I can just go and get all that stuff because I know where it is.
So, again, these are the kinds of things. Now, if he was in college right now, and away at Miami of Ohio, obviously I wouldn't be able to do that. And you wouldn't be able to do it. So instead, you took the break not knowing.
Yeah.
We went and Oliver and I wandered around Trader's World not knowing. And then Ray was so nice enough to say, hey, you know, I really want this to work for you guys. So all these things happen never knowing the trajectory.
Yeah.
But if you're getting ready to go back to college and you had this whole experience, what would you tell people when you hear, because it's not like it's your thing either.
Yeah, that's true.
And are you a big sports fan?
No, not at all.
Right.
That's not my thing.
Right.
No.
And so what would you tell other people just about doing it anyway? You know, the concept of that, getting uncomfortable, because you really locked down too.
Yeah.
For COVID, you didn't want to hang out with people.
For sure.
The warehouse is
to me.
interesting because it's isolation.
Yeah.
So you can still feel comfortable during the pandemic. So there's so many weird things like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's a different sort of thing because the transactions that happen don't all have to be in the store itself. I think at the moment a vast majority of them are, but we can have like specific people come in and while social distancing, take them through the warehouse and let them take some stuff and sell it to them that way. The eBay store isn't up yet, but that's another way that can happen.
It may be up by the time this plays, actually.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And I know also Clara, our social media guru, is setting up Facebook Marketplace, a Facebook place to find us there as well.
And I think that those sorts of outlets would be a lot more something that I can participate in. But to answer your other question, I think that if I go back and I'm talking to people, it's about, you know, kind of just letting yourself experiment and try different things. If you're on the precipice of something and you have an opportunity to give something new a shot, why not, right? Why not just try something new? It tis the season. It is absolutely the time for new experiences, I think, for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. And do you think that from the 3 weeks prior to us purchasing this and moving through all the videos and all the things we've done, Noah also did the voiceover, so he's done lots of different things.
Yeah, that's true. I did the audiobook for your book, Life at Performance Level, which you can find on the website, which was another one of those like new sort of experiences, trying new things, jumping outside of your comfort zone to just kind of, you know, open yourself up to new stuff.
And I would say the same thing about the podcast.
Absolutely.
So Noah is one of the producers. We have other people that work on it as well and do editing and all talented. But that's another thing. It's not like you were Joe producer of podcast before.
For sure.
And now you can produce anyone's podcast, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably.
Right?
I don't know about anybody's podcast, but...
Well, I'm just saying it's interesting. And then all those little pieces led up to this jump now. And you were like gangbusters. You're like, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely.
So I just think there are so many lessons to be learned by that. And I just want to say thank you so much because, honestly, this whole experience, for me, I was just like you said, I'm not like Mr. Sports guy. I mean, I like sports. I love the Reds. I love the LA Dodgers. You know, I grew up in LA and all that. Huge Michael Jordan fan, as you know, of course. But it's not like I know every player every year, and there are people that are really into it. That's not me. But I said, I'm going to learn a lot. We're going to have something to do. We're going to have quality time together and not sit and think about what we don't have or what's closed or if we can't go out to eat and all those things we've been talking about. So it's been really fun.
Yeah,
it's been really
absolutely.
Been
I
awesome.
agree.
Well, thank you all. I hope you enjoy this podcast today and this video. I just wanted to encourage everyone as you're listening that there are things that I've done in my life for big companies, and there's times I've invested in other people and did VIP days with executives. And the concept of this was to say, you know what if we just took some time and tried to invest in our family in a different way? And we all got uncomfortable and did something new together. And that's exactly what we all did. And it was a joint decision. and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. I'm still a speaker. I'm still going to go back when the world opens up, and I'm going to do keynote speeches. But I'll always have this as something that I did that was fun, that was different. And I'm so glad that you was just like a cheerleader the whole way. So thank you, Noah.
Absolutely.
All right, well, now it's time for my favorite part of the next 24 hours. And of course, that is the 24-hour challenge. And today we're actually going to have Noah give a challenge out for everyone that's listening. And Noah, let's hear about the 24-hour challenge.
Absolutely. So today's episode was all about seizing opportunities when you get them and being open to new experiences. But, what am I going to do, right? If I don't have any specific opportunities that I can see, what am I supposed to do to implement this into my real life? Well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to think about a person in your life, a friend, a family member, whoever else, who is going through that sort of transition. And just like I volunteered to help my dad out with his whole enterprise, just volunteer, offer some of your time, some of your energy. It doesn't have to be big, but sometime within the next 24 hours, just go up to them and offer to help them out with whatever that new thing that they're going through is.
That's awesome. Go out and live the dream. Thanks, Noah.
Absolutely.
So excited to be here with my youngest son, Oliver. And Oliver and I have been kind of on this journey together, meeting Ray and buying his collection and the warehouse. And so, Oliver, I just hope that you could share with everybody just kind of our journey together and really starting back, going to garage sales and all that. Anything that you could share to kind of paint the picture would be huge.
Yeah, so we kind of just came in here and we met this guy named Ray that had a warehouse and a shop. And we had a couple conversations with him. And it kind of spiraled into us buying the shop from him and the warehouse with it. So we've been here for about 9 weeks now. And it was a little bit of a extreme transition, but it was really easy to take advantage of the situation we had in front of us. So it all worked out.
And I'd say the transition of the shop itself.
For sure. Yeah, we had to change the whole shop to be able to put more of the card stock in because it's booming right now. So
yeah, cards. Apparently, we weren't the only ones that went down in the basement and took out cards and started going through them, but millions of people around the whole United States and the world were doing it. And that's why right now cards are just, hot and people are loving them and they're going ripping packs and building relationships with their kids through doing that. And that's kind of what we've been doing too. So, it's just such a big thank you to Ray. I would say that when we first met him, he wasn't the most bubbly, warm person you've ever met.
no.
But the more he got to trust us and the more that he realized that we appreciated what he had, the more he opened up. And I would say he's like one of my best friends. Like he's an amazing guy. I see him almost every day and, really changed our family and what we've been doing, wouldn't you say?
For sure. Yeah.
Other things I think that I'd love for you to share is just kind of what it's like to be in the shop in the morning, like learning to open. And I know you've worked other jobs before, but this just feels a little different because it's just you and me. To me, it does.
I mean, it's nothing really new. It's just like a normal shop, but it's a lot more calm because, with people breathing down your neck all the time. But we get like big rushes and it's really fun with a bunch of people in here yelling and a bunch of other stuff going on. So it's a nice adrenaline rush, especially during the open and the close of it, for sure.
And I would say yelling, I'm going to show that picture of the one guy that pulled the card.
Yeah.
What card was it?
The King Griffey Jr. rookie card.
King Griffey Jr. rookie card. He really wanted it. He had bought some packs. And what did he buy, like 7 packs or something?
Just 12 packs. And he got it on the fourth to last one, so that was exciting.
And we're both standing there. There's nobody else in the shop. And he ripped it and got it. And we were like, high five. And like, yeah. So it's funny because you do these kinds of things. You never think like moments are going to happen. But it was totally like a moment I will never forget when we were there with this guy and he pulls it. And it's a King Griffey Jr. and he's all jacked up. And it was really cool.
That's pretty cool. So.
Yeah. Also, I think there's something to be said for Oliver has always been the kind of person that is an adventurous, kind of, I want to try things, get out there. And so I mean, that's kind of your nature. I know
Yeah.
you were like into sneakers for a long time and
Yeah.
flipping that. And so it doesn't feel to me like it's that big of a challenge for you
No, not at all.
to be here and wheel and deal. And
Yeah, it's pretty normal. I mean, I kind of grew around it, and it's really easy. So it just gives me something fun to do, and I'm somewhat like invested into it as well. So little
yeah,
small
Oliver's
game.
got his own cards, put them in a display, and then he's able to wheel and deal. And I have to be honest with you, it's great for me because he's done it so much that if I'm busy helping a customer and somebody comes in and says, hey, I have these cards I want to trade, or I want to make a deal on what if I get these 5 boxes, can I get it for this price? You have total
Yeah,
control, right?
yeah.
He doesn't have to check with me. I mean, and that's
No,
just because he knows the values as well as I do.
for sure. And the market's changing all the time, so it's fun to always keep up with it, but it can be stressful sometimes for sure.
So I guess what I would say is, could you share a little bit about just our family making the decision to do it, and then your take on whether or not it was a good idea, and kind of thinking about the next 6 months and where it's going. If you're going to tell somebody about that, what would you say?
I mean, it definitely was a pretty big decision, and it was kind of right place, right time kind of thing. And it's those decisions that you don't really want to pass up. You kind of got to jump on them when you have the chance and they present themselves to you. I mean, obviously it was a big change for the family and everything like that, but it was handled really well, so it wasn't as extreme as it could have been. And I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how it goes in the next 6 months or whatever.
It's funny because we talked about how this isn't forever. And I think that's one of the big mistakes people
Yeah.
make with decisions. And Oliver, we both talk a lot about this. And I'm not going into the sports and memorabilia business as a career.
Yeah.
We both know that. But we've also bought enough stuff together in the past that we have it, and then we go ahead and trade it or sell it. And so you just go kind of like the curator of that for a certain period of time. When we looked at all this stuff, we knew it was going to be longer,
Yeah, for sure.
a bigger commitment. But ultimately, when crowds start coming back and speeches start happening, I'm going to go back and do that again. That's my career. But we and my whole family said, you know what? If we work together, we can do this as an adventure and hopefully make some money and hopefully have some fun. And that's what it's been for me so far. And so I just could not have done it without you and your support.
Yeah, and it's a perfect time to do that too, because so many people are out of their typical jobs, to find something that you can maybe make some money doing, but also something that you enjoy doing as well, and pursue that a little bit just to get you through the quarantine and everything like that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Oliver, so much for sharing. I mean, it's really great. To learn more about Ray's Sports Collection, go to facebook.com/Ray's Sports Collection. And if you're looking for a speaker to inspire and engage your people, visit my website, curtiszimmerman.com. Thanks for tuning in to Keynotes to Collectibles.